Module 3. Contract negotiation with outsourcing partners. Contract negotiation is a critical component of all successful outsourcing relationships. Let's start with the definition. Contract negotiation refers to the process of discussing, drafting, and agreeing upon the terms and conditions of a legally binding agreement between the biopharma company, the sponsor, and its outsourcing partner, the CRO or CDMO. Effective contract negotiations are crucial to biopharma outsourcing for several reasons. These include risk mitigation. Well-negotiated contracts help to allocate and manage risk between the parties. They set clear expectations with clear objectives, deliverables, and timelines. Quality assurance. Contracts should define the quality standards and regulatory compliance requirements. Cost management, with established pricing structures and payment terms. They protect your intellectual property by safeguarding valuable IP and defining the ownership of new discoveries. Dispute resolution, by providing mechanisms for resolving conflicts. Regulatory compliance, by ensuring both parties adhere to industry regulations and standards. Flexibility, as well-crafted contracts should be able to accommodate changes and unforeseen circumstances. The duration of the partnership, including both the length of the partnership as well as what should be done at the end of the agreement or termination. And incentivizing collaboration. Rather than being a straitjacket, contracts should provide a motivational foundation for an innovative partnership, which is supposed to grow and develop over the long term. In biopharma outsourcing, effective negotiation should be about creating value for both parties, not just dividing it. Creating new and innovative treatments is not a zero-sum game in which one company's gain is the equivalent to another's loss. Aim for a win-win scenario where the sponsor's interests overlaps with those of the service provider. For a successful negotiation, try to understand what lies beneath the surface. What is it that both organisations really want? Make sure to put yourself in the shoes of the other party and try to understand their business model. What is it that's important to them? In the same way, find out what is a win for you internally. It won't just be about saving money. As an example, time is a metric that has a huge amount of value for R&D, especially when competition is very tight. If you negotiate a saving of $100,000 but you lose a month in development, that may not be a good negotiation. Try to understand the true drivers of both businesses to help align around a common goal. Tanya Montahen, Thermo Fisher's Vice President of Customer Asset Development, explains that when you make a supplier lose, you lose. She says that if you get such a lean model that you've sucked all the margin away, the service provider will not give you their best people. Understand that there is a limit to any negotiation, and if you push past that line, it will backfire on you. For example, suppliers care about growth, so how can you leverage the growth for the benefit of your products and your delivery? When it comes to pricing, knowledge is power. It's always advisable to use benchmarking data, which you can collect from peers or from other suppliers as part of the RFP process. This benchmarking data helps to avoid disagreements on pricing, and it's worth digging into the detail to really understand what's behind the number. In order to get to a better price, consider innovative pricing models such as risk sharing or hitting specific milestones. Roxana Timmermans explains that when it comes to contract negotiation, preparation is your secret weapon. She outlines a number of steps to ensure that you walk out of a negotiation having done your best. Firstly, know your presentation inside out. Ahead of the negotiation, you should share with potential partners an Excel file or slide deck which holds critical information about the project. Before you step into the room, you need to understand it thoroughly and identify any specific details that could sway the negotiation in your favour. 2. Identify strategic zones for negotiation. Within your presentation, have an idea of the areas which are ripe for negotiation. And importantly, agree these in advance with stakeholders, so that you know exactly what you can and can't offer. These zones are where you can really flex your muscles and advocate for what matters to your business. And 3, bring your calculator. Be prepared to be agile and to calculate figures on the fly. These could be cost savings or other metrics. so that you can have a meaningful and dynamic conversation with participants. Roxana advises acting immediately, writing key facts and numbers on a whiteboard to capture key information in the moment. For the contract itself, we've created a template for what to include. This includes definitions and interpretations of key terms, which provides guidelines for how to interpret the contract language. 2. The scope of work. This is where you detail the services to be provided, including the deliverables, timelines, and performance metrics. 3. The responsibilities of both parties, so it's clear who does what. 4. Quality assurance and compliance. 5. Intellectual property rights. 6. Confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. 7. Payment terms, including the payment schedule, invoicing procedures, and tax considerations. 8. Outlining the process for change controls. 9. Warranties and representations. 10. Indemnification and liability, specifying the responsibilities for damages or losses. 11. Details the duration of the contract and the conditions under which it can be terminated. The contract should also include 12. Dispute resolution, providing mechanisms for resolving conflicts and disputes that arise. 13. Force majeure, covering situations where performance is impacted by unforeseen events. 14. Specifies the insurance requirements. 15. Grants the right to conduct audits as required. 16. Outlines conditions under which subcontracting is permitted and the responsibilities of those subcontractors. 17. Data protection and privacy. 18. Details the process for technology transfers between parties. 19. Risk management and contingency planning. 20. Supply chain management, detailing the suppliers and materials used in the project. 21. Ethics and compliance expected of the service provider. And 22. Specifies the training and competency requirements for personnel. While every company and every legal team have their own preferred contracts, you would expect these to be featured in some way. In addition, it's usual to attach appendices to ensure that all relevant technical, quality and operational details are clearly communicated and agreed upon by both parties. To take a closer look, make sure to download the example outsourcing contract. To summarise, effective contract negotiation is crucial for successful outsourcing relationships in biopharma. Some of the key benefits include setting clear expectations, risk mitigation, and protection of intellectual property. In order to successfully negotiate, this important relationship requires thorough preparation, clear communication, and a focus on creating mutual value from a win-win scenario. While challenges exist, they can be mitigated with proper strategies and approaches. And a key point to remember, the goal is not just to sign a contract, but to lay the foundation for a productive, long-term partnership, in which both sides feel motivated to do their best. Now take the quiz to test your learning.